More than a dot, more than a dot.
Welcome to More Than a Dad podcast. I'm your host, Lou Mobley. I'm joined by the coolest guy on earth, Dre Moore.
What's good, y'all?
Man, what's good? We back at it.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's always good to be back, man. You know.
Ask me the question, cuz.
What question am I asking you?
What's the favorite question?
I thought we wasn't doing that no more. You kind of be whiffing on the question.
Nah, man. Dad life is amazing. You gonna ask me the question?
Can you not play with the thing?
My bad. Go ahead.
Thanks, bro.
It was bothering you?
No, they can hear it.
No, they can't. Let me know in the comments if you can hear it.
No, man. The signature question on More Than a Dad. How's dad life?
Dad life is good, man. Ash is very difficult. So he's close to graduating now. He'll be 5 in July, so he'll be graduating from preschool and going to kindergarten. And Ash don't listen during graduation practice. So now it'd be like threats of like, yo, he might not be able to participate. It was like a threat in the beginning, like,
bro,
yo,
it was a thing like you didn't walk in high school or 8th grade. The fact that he's getting threatened that he can't walk going into kindergarten is freaking nuts.
this boy crazy, bro. He be drawn. He don't want to listen. He don't want to sit there. He been like extra bad too, like during like this time. And I think like he know like if I'm real bad, they gonna just like not make me participate. So then like he could go off and do his own thing. Like one day they was telling me he was like kicking the door. He was just like doing stuff like he just don't want. Like they was trying to do graduation practice and he decided like he wanted to go outside. So he started kicking the door and all this stuff. Like he wanted to go outside and play. Like I don't really want to do this. Like
It's funny when I hear you say that. Like my wife has a thing about like she don't like for people to call kids bad. Do you call him bad?
yeah, he is bad.
Can we find a better adjective?
No, you want me to look up bad in the dictionary? My phone right here.
No, you don't think that's like negative reinforcement?
Right, negative reinforcement by what?
If I heard every day for 18 years how bad I was, what you think I'm gonna be in my 19th year?
Hopefully you don't get tired of being called bad and you want to be called good. So you should be good.
Come on, man. We're generalizing. If I was called bad 18 years of my life, what am I going to be in my 19th year?
You probably gonna be bad.
What am I being in my 20th year?
Bad.
What am I being in my 21st year?
Hopefully good.
More likely what?
Listen, man.
All right.
No, but so then what am I
Don't
supposed?
call my godson bad,
So
bro.
what am I supposed to say to your godson? Then I'm supposed to say, you're the opposite of good today.
Like my thing is this. It's the same thing. She getting me right now when I be like, yo, tell him stop. I was like, yo, man, he's not listening. She like, yo, you gotta stop saying that.
But he's not listening.
I know. I'm trying to learn from my wife. I'm trying to make us better
This
parents.
is chick. This is no disrespect to the women that listen to the pod. We love y'all.
However,
That's some bullshit. And
Cause Manny does this thing, and it kind of made her. Manny does this thing where he like, I got in trouble because I wasn't listening, and not even in a sarcastic way, but acknowledging like I'm bad, like I was bad, and you don't want them to identify as bad or I'm not listening. I identify as that.
but he know he not listening, so he telling you he not listening. So you feel like he antagonizing you with the not listening?
No, I just feel like he's internalizing it, and even when because it was for a long time, like Manny would come home and be like, I'm like, how was school? He'd be like, it was bad, and he'd be like, it was bad, and he would have a fine day, but he was just so used to being negatively reinforced, like you're being bad, you're not listening, and for a long time we had to tell him like, no, you had a good day. Your teacher said you had a good day. Then he got all confused, like, you sure? Because just last week I was bad and not listening.
You know what that is? That's because he don't know what he doing.
Right.
He's not understand. Like he's just thinking like, oh, y'all coming in there And y'all like, yo, you had a bad day. So he just thinking like every day is just a bad day. Cause I've been hearing this, not really understanding that like what you did was a bad day today.
Oh, he not correlating his
He not
behavior
correlating.
to what's being said.
Yeah, it's like how every light skinned person is Uncle Dre. It's like the same thing. He's just hearing like, oh, your day was bad. He's not putting the two and two together to say your day was bad because of this. That might be an explanation thing on y'all.
Yeah, we gotta tell him this is the consequence of that. You know, it's,
Yeah, like you were bad today because you were in school fighting. Now I know that bad and fighting go hand in hand. Like, oh, I didn't fight kids today, then maybe it was a good day.
thank you, bro. That was some real 13 years of parenting stuff right there. The way you wrote that down.
But I mean, that's what I get.
No, I wanted to ask you something because you said he's leaving preschool to go to kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, my son is in daycare, so he's going from room to room as he gets older. And
Right.
over time, you build relationships with the teachers in each room. And like, I be sad when my kid gonna move up, but I know they gotta move up because you be building a type of relationship at each stop they go to. You know, have
Right.
you ever had a more significant bond with a teacher or something with one of your kids?
Yeah, always, definitely. It's funny because like Ash has the same teacher now that he had as a baby. And not really too much as in the day, like he has moved from classroom to classroom in the daycare, so it was like, you know, balancing the difference of the teachers and the different behaviors, and they all teacher different and all of that. But so I really they are, and I haven't really experienced that much as far as like me with like the teachers in the daycare, because I'm pretty much good with all the teachers in the daycare because his mom works there, so it's like they kind of know me, like, oh, that's Ashton's dad, but that's also just Dre. But I've had that experience with little Dre, like him in elementary school. Like his teacher, Miss Fisher, probably like my favorite teacher that he had. Like she was like super like understanding of his needs and like his shortcomings, and she was like in the backcourt with us. So like she was cool, and like I was sad like when he left, Miss Fisher. Like like I need her back, and yeah, I was like super upset about that. But and I still see her today. I seen her like 3 weeks ago. Like a morning, I dropped Dre off at school, and she was out there at the car line, helping the kids come in, and we had stopped and had talked for a minute. And it was like the day after he had like a little meltdown, and I was telling her about it, and like we talked about it. But I think like the counselor or somebody wasn't there that day, but like we still like kind of have that relationship to this day when I see her, and I don't have that relationship like with any of his other teachers. Not that they're bad teachers, but we just don't have that same relationship. So yeah, you definitely go through that. Like a teacher would just get you. Like I like the way she handled that, or I like, you know, how we went through that, and that's just natural because it's comfortable.
Yeah, like when I go to pick up Manny's like real, like everybody like Manny, man. Like he's so charming and handsome and smart, and everybody just love him. But I like the one teacher at his daycare. She be like, you know, they do star student. Manny came home, he was a star student for like 5 days straight. So I picked him up one day. I was like, you gonna have to stop making him a star student. She said, why? I said, because you're gonna make all the other parents jealous.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just can't keep picking my son. And she was like, no, he's a star student. He earned it. I said, all right, cool, he earned it. And then she described like the tasks he did. He like spelt his name, and all the other kids couldn't spell their name. It's like, wow, man, he could spell his name at 3.5 years old.
Right.
Emmanuel, that's a lot of letters.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's not like Joe. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He copied the double M's. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I say to her, like, you gonna have to stop. And she was like, no, you know that's my baby for real, but yeah, he earned it.
Right.
And like it just like little comments like that always stuck with me. Like now I know I gotta send him here to you by default so I could go to work, his mom to go to work. But now I see that you care and you love my kid too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
oh, that's your
true.
baby. Like she probably not even supposed to say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's my baby. You know that's my
But
baby.
they be having favorite kids, cuz.
Yeah, I guess we all be. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got a favorite kid, bro. They ain't gonna get into that though on this show and get us incriminated.
No, that's. I mean, I guess that's gonna have to be an episode at some point. But yeah, man, it was kind of cool to hear her kind of bring that up. Like, yeah, I mean, that's my baby. You know, he made me so proud, and like damn, you sound like his parent.
Right.
You
That's
know,
a fact. All right, we're gonna let's get into like the meat and potatoes of the of this episode. So like, what expectations of your partner were like influenced on by like what you seen or like didn't see growing up. So like what like what was going on that you seen from your parents like that gave like in their marriage that like what expectations did it put on you like for your partner?
bro, I feel like this topic is so great, man. Like I should take people advice, but I never do. But you know how people say like, what did your girl grow up in a household that the parents were married? And the answer to my answer is no.
Right.
But I grew up in a household with married parents.
Right.
So like my understanding of a man and woman's role, a man and woman's like view and love for each other is totally different. So like it becomes a pain point in our relationship. You know what I mean? Just because we don't view what a healthy relationship look
Right.
like similarly, you know what I mean? Or you don't have that dynamic of, like how did they make up? How did they function? How did they love on each other? How did they raise the kids? How did they collaborate? You have it from a more independent single mom scenario.
Right.
You don't have it from a and we always make fun of the alpha woman thing, but like, in them environments, single moms are alphas, you know what I mean? In them environments. So, like it is funny because like just like your parents, like my dad didn't work and my mom worked. My mom paid all the bills. My dad did so much stuff around the house, never looked at him different.
Right.
And you just know his value and the respect she had from him, even without a real job.
That's a fact.
It's just the dynamic.
That's a crazy thought.
What?
Like that, the respect she had for cuz was unemployed.
Yeah, he was retired. He had like a pension.
No, I mean
or
my
something.
pop was the same way. But now, like, if you thought about that, like in our time, like,
Yeah, like yo, she respected you without a job. Like you fighting for respect as a man out here. It's crazy.
that's a fact.
But the dynamic was just so different. And like when you go to like parenting or marriage with somebody, you inherit all their experience. So like we also, how do I say this? We also try to give our kids what we had and at the same time what we didn't have.
Right.
Or more than what we had. You know what I'm saying? I guess they all like similar, you know what I mean?
That's true.
We're so you're raising people through your fears, through your insecurities, through your positive experiences as well. Like I want him to have that same type of experience. Like I always tell you guys, like my dad's from Florida, so we went to Disney World like 10, 11 times.
Right.
So like I want to give my kids a vacation and experience. It ain't got to be Disney World 10 times because I got a little redundant. However, I'm used to vacationing at least once a year.
Right.
And that was until I was like 17, 18 years old. We had went on vacation, like a big Florida vacation 10, 11 times. That's more than 50% of my life.
Yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
a fact.
So, and I'm talking about like driving here from Philly to Florida,
Yeah, we
2-day
did
trip.
take that job. That's wild.
So, when you get with people, you don't realize like that's the stuff that be mattering. Like that matters so much. Like even if the other person family marriage isn't like healthy, but they stayed together, or like you can see the difference from their marriage and your parents' marriage and how it
Yeah.
affected them and their thought process and y'all relationship.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Like there's so many little things there. Like I don't know how to say it. Like me and my wife have like cultural differences,
Right.
but also it's a big difference that like her dad was murdered young. Like I mean when she was real young.
Okay.
So she doesn't have the experience of like waking up to daddy, or like daddy watches football on Sunday. Don't bother daddy when that game on, girl, because mama teach you that. You know what I mean? Like don't mess with daddy when the game on. Just like it's that time of the month. We don't mess with mom. Like leave mom alone. Like you learn that from having both these people in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really actually like thought about what I actually seen my parents do that like I emulated in a relationship. I I mean, except for like some negative things, like some bad habits from my pop. But I do, like I do understand it, like how it could be different, and it is a bit different. I'll say that I do actually, but I do got something that I did have in my parents' relationship that I probably expect of a person that I'm with, and that weighs on me a lot, and that's being there for a person, having my back. My mom and my dad, I never seen them go through a situation where they didn't have each other's back, no matter the situation, right or wrong, or anything. Like, no matter what they like, my dad would do stuff and be like dead wrong about it, and my mom would support him on it.
Right.
Like, I remember my dad was a wild boy. He was wild. He was my pop was 80. He caught his first case.
Yeah.
Yeah. He caught a DUI. He got a DUI one. I got a story time too. It's crazy.
Let's
I got
go.
a story time for that. He was drinking. My pop always was drunk, so like he wasn't too drunk to drive.
That sounds crazy.
Let's start there. And he was going past their house and where they live. But for audience purposes, it's a hill. When their house sits on the top of a hill, so it's a hill going one direction and it's a hill going the other direction. So he goes down the hill to make a U-turn to come back up. So he goes down the hill to go to the intersection to make the U-turn. As he's making the U-turn, he said like it was like a glare in his eyes. So he was like real close to the car because the glare was coming towards him, and he like knocked the mirror off a car. And but the crazy thing about it is the glare was coming from like a cop car. So the cop car like seen him do it, seen him knock the mirror off. So he was like, so they lit him up, whoop whoop. So imagine my dad is 80 years old. So they like, where you going? He like, oh, I was going right there. I live right up the street. Like I live right there. So they're like, all right. And I guess like they smelled the liquor on him. So like they made him go through like a sobriety test, and I think he passed the sobriety test too. But he was like getting smart. My pop he was a smart ass, bro. Like he just had smart condescending comments. So like he was just getting smart. So they was like, well, we gonna arrest you, like whatever. So they end up booking him.
80-year-old.
80. So they book him, and bro, they take him down to the roundhouse. And so now he had to stay the night. And never forget it, my mom called me and was like, yeah, they kept him overnight. So I'm like, all right, you gonna get out tomorrow? We gonna go pick him up. So we go down there to go pick him up. So we get down there to pick him up, and the lady down there, she like, yeah, who you dad, whatever. So I'm like, Bernard Moore, whatever. So she looking, she like, oh, yeah, he processed out like 2 hours ago. So I'm like, you serious? Like, what you mean he ain't called nobody, whatever. So she like, yeah, he processed out like 2 hours ago. So I'm like, you sure? She like, yeah, it was an old man, whatever. She like, his phone was dead, and he asked me to charge his phone, and I charged his phone, and he left. So I'm like, yo, where is now me and my mom like panicking, because like my pop always used to carry a lot of money on him and stuff. Like he'd have like $300-$400 on him in cash. Just old school, like in cards. 300-400 cash, and it's like, man, the roundhouse downtown. People come from all over the city. Anything could be going on. We can't find him. Whatever. Calling his phone, he ain't answering the jack. Nothing. Can't find him. This dude gets on the L, goes the wrong way, end up in like Frankfurt, right, on some dumb stuff. So we going to 69th Street, but end up coming back down. End up calling me. Finally get a hold of him. He had like 46 in Market now, but I'm in the wheel because we going back and forth trying to find him. I think I was on like 40th Street by the time he answered the phone, because I was headed back up towards 69th Street. So he like, yeah, I'm at 46th. I'm like, no, man, how about the train? I'll be there in like a couple minutes. Pull up. So pull up, get him. It's crazy because I don't forget, I run all the way up the steps to like where the track was at to like get him up there. Like we had like a crazy laugh. I just looked and just laughed. He laughed at me. I'm like, yo, you really out here catching a case. at 8 years. So he was telling me like his night in jail, like he had to sleep on a chair. He got into an argument with a dude sleeping on the bench because his foot was like my dad's foot was in the dude's face, and the bull was like, man, move your foot. And he like, man, you think I'm not gonna be comfortable in here? Like snapping on me cuz in the joint. I'm like, yo, you drunk. But even going through that whole process, like my mom was super frustrated with him. She was super upset with him about, just the fact that like this even like a thing. But like still made sure like, like he had proper representation as far as like, just calling a lawyer, doing stuff, making sure they was at the court dates and, doing all that stuff, just going through the process. And I just think about like how like she was so upset about it, but she always had his back, and it was always like that, bro.
Right.
So like I think I carry that into like when I think about like the person I'm with, like what goes for me more than anything is like you having my back. Like I don't like all that other stuff to me is extra. But like if I feel like you got my back and you down for me, then like, we go we could proceed and move forward.
No, it's interesting to think like I guess watching my parents, like it was just a real peaceful, respectful, loving house.
Right.
So like I never heard my mom irate or like catching the Rams on my dad. Like, you know what I mean? It just never happened. You know what I mean? It was just such a rare occurrence like to hear her, come at him real super sideways. It was just like a level of respect that I don't know if he commanded, but it was in the marriage. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard. Like, that's kind of what I try to just preach and what I'm doing is like, it got to be a lot of respect here. It got to be a lot of love here. And, it's good to be able to be like, yo, my mom and them were married however long, and I never seen them fight or like they would go in their bedroom and disagree and come out like my normal parents.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I never seen it like break it. Like we lived there. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was there as much as they was there. Like
right.
It never was like when do y'all disagree? And I'm sure they disagreed a lot, but like I said, it was just handled such in a mature fashion. And my dad ain't talk. He talk like an average person. He ain't talk that much, but like if he was to bring her a problem, he'd be like, Eunice, I gotta talk to you, and they'll go talk, and then it'll be over.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? If I say I gotta talk, it could go left or right. You know what I'm saying? It could be very different thing,
Right.
but that's how I grew up. It's like I grew up being able to be like the mature thing is to come talk to you. You know what I mean? And at all times, let me shower you with love and respect, you know what I mean? And keep it at this peaceful level. Because to me, the peace is how we know we appreciate each other.
Right.
Because if it's unpeaceful, if it's not peaceful, it's probably tension. It's probably like wild stuff going on. That's not really the representation of a relationship you really probably want to be in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's crazy that you had that, man. My parents, they argue all the time, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Man, I don't know anybody that ever been to my mom's house with my mom and my dad and didn't see them argue. But that's why I say, like, even through all of that, you never had to question whether I got your back. Even if we go and disagree, we might disagree over plenty of things. But as long as I could see you got my back and I got your back, then like, that's really what counts for me.
Yeah, man. I just think like he was such a man's man, like, and the respect was there. She appreciated him and, what he did. And it's just like, yo, if he's speaking from a good place. You know what I mean? He not coming to me just to like beat me down with his feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he got a problem with something. Maybe you had somebody over that disrespected the home or something. And he telling me about it. He feel a way about it.
Right.
But they your family. So let me come talk to you about it.
Right.
I don't like how you did something. You know what I mean? It's just it's a way he was moving as a man that I try to move like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do I have that? Do I have mommy? No. But and I think like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot of things like when you raise like so if my relationship is not like my mom and dad's, is it a bad relationship? Not necessarily. It's just not.
It's just different.
It's different, right? And it doesn't possess the format that I'm used to problem solving in.
Right.
So like, if I was in a relationship that was not peaceful or as loving, like how am I supposed to operate? It kind of just puts you in a position of like, how am I supposed to get through this?
Yeah, because you never seen it, so
Right.
you don't have like no point of reference. So now we trying to figure out as it go. You trying to make it work for you.
Yeah, we trying to do what they did in the movies. We trying to pull something out of a movie or something, but
Nah, bro, that ain't this ain't gonna work.
yeah, bro. But it like I said, it trickles down into your parent then. Because think about it like this: like everything that was good from my childhood, I try to give my kids.
Right.
Now, anything that I'm not really banging with, I don't want my kids nowhere near. So as a person, and I come into a relationship with you, I don't even know them things, but now we're raising kids out of those two buckets.
Right.
All the things you liked about your childhood, all the things you didn't bang with your childhood.
That's true.
And then we're gonna do the same thing with me. Right? I'm gonna highlight the things, that I liked about my childhood, and I'm gonna shy away from the things that I really wasn't too fond of. And then the kids are gonna come up with a whole nother experience.
Right.
But our collaboration, we really raising them out our fears and our experiences versus understanding that their experiences are going to be brand new regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not in that time. We're not in that environment. We're not those people. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, you just got to be watching what you carrying with you, because it may not always be the healthiest bag. Like if I have a lack of trust for people, right? If I have a lack of trust for people, and then my partner grew up in a family where all the cousins stayed at one house, and we went to auntie house, and it's like when we have kids finally, it's like, yeah, our kids can't do that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know what I mean? It's all this, and then that's weird for you because you the person that grew up like, I always stayed at cousin Robbie's house. I stayed at Styles' house and Namire's house. You know what I mean? And then you get with somebody that's like, no, that's not.
That's not a thing because my childhood wasn't like that. So now we got to do it. Now we got to operate differently.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy, bro, man.
Yeah, that's wild because like I don't think I parent like either one of my parents.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Like you said, they weren't cool, so I guess
they weren't cool at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't take that from like I come from. My mom, she just ain't no nonsense. Like she just wasn't one to play with, like a person to play with at all. And my dad they come from a military family, so it's a lot of structure. Like I said, like we come from like I said, we barely listen to music with words if it wasn't like some type of R&B or something. My mom grew up in the church. I don't none of those things, bro. Like I don't think I've carried any of those things. That's crazy. You just like made me like think about that. Like I don't think I carry, like I don't parent like either one of, like I'm nothing like either one of my parents at all. More so I might be lean a little bit more towards my dad as far as like personality, but not really like values, yeah, but like not even like I mean, maybe I am more like my dad because like my dad ain't say much. I ain't never get in trouble with my dad not once. Like we got into one argument my whole life, and that was because I called him the B word and I was tripping.
Yeah, you was definitely tripping.
Yeah, I was tripping because I was trying to get a job and he was drawn. And like I'm like, yo, Dad, I need you to take me to this job interview. And I'm like, they doing on the spot hiring. It was at like Subway. They was paying like $5.50. I can't believe $5.50 had me like on some disrespectful. But they was paying like $5.50 or something. Or they was paying $6. No, I was making $5.50 at McDonald's and they was paying $6 at Subway.
Yo, that was minimum wage before?
Yeah, facts. Big facts. I definitely worked for $5.50 in my life. I'm like, yo, Dad, we gotta go. I'm like, I gotta go to hiring on the spot. Like, you gotta take me. He like, no, your mom about to get off work. I gotta make her dinner. I'm like, man, you acting like a B. He like, what? And he picked up this bat and he hit me across the chest with it. And I just folded. I'm like, and I just got up and I'm like, I just left. And then like, I was upset because I was hurt, but I ended up getting to the interview anyway and getting the job. But then my mom was all mad, and she called me and was like, "Yeah, you was disrespecting your dad, whatever." This is what I'm saying about having your back. You was disrespecting your dad, whatever, whatever. So then I told her what happened, and I'm like, "Mom, I was just trying to get a job. He wasn't trying to take me." She like, "No," da, da, da. And then I said, "Well, he hit me in the chest with a bat, and it's a bruise." And then she got at him. She had my back after that. She wasn't really. She was cool with the discipline. She wasn't cool with the fact that he picked up that bat and hit me with it though. Bruised my whole like my chest to my shoulder. She like, "Man, you could have killed him," but he wasn't having that. I ain't never say nothing wild to him after that neither.
Imagine him doing that in 2022, and our listeners listening to that. They taking the kid from him. He going to jail.
Yeah, I was out of line though. I bought that. I thought it was sweet because you know what that is. That's like I said, my dad ain't never beat me. I can't think of a time like my dad beat me. My dad ain't never yell at me. My dad ain't never say nothing. He never got mad at me. My dad was like, "Yo, you on? I'll be on punishment," and like mommy will leave and go to work, and my dad would let me play the game. Like he ain't never enforced nothing. So then like I'm like 15, I'm feeling like I'm him. So now I'm just talking crazy. And then after that, it was like, oh, all right, let me not play with old head like that, cuz.
You know, it's funny to say that. Like, you know, I don't always identify that, but my dad is a military dude too, right?
Right.
So, a lot of that ideology is the same, right? So, like, my dad ain't never put no pressure on me. To me, it was my mom. My mom was always
That's
kind of
right.
like,
That's what I'm
my mom
saying.
was always like, you gotta be something. You know, you gotta make these grades. And as dad was always, because you know what it is. I think men be knowing like your journey gonna be long. We can't be trying to burn you out right at 13 years old.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your life about to be hard. It's about to be harder for you to get everything. Like, dad be knowing.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You gotta eventually you're gonna grow up and have to take care of people. Like, dad be knowing. Like, let's not, like, the pressure gonna come when you're a little older, son. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah, that's
But my
true.
dad ain't never put no pressure on me. He just kind of wanted me to go, go for whatever I wanted to be. Like, I think my dad thought everybody that went to college became politicians. Like, yeah, you're gonna become a politician when you finish school, right? He ain't know I was going to school for like sports or something. He probably wouldn't have condoned that.
Right.
You know, you know what I mean? I'm going to school for sports and business. He kind of like, yeah. He
Yeah.
probably-
It'd have been like, what?
and it's funny. I got my MPA, which is like a government job type of degree.
Right.
And that's kind of like funny. Like, that's kind of in line with what he thought I was gonna be, right?
He predicted it.
But that's funny. But like he ain't never put no pressure on me like that. I did get my ass beat by my dad. I'd be keeping a bean. I used to always like show off in front of company. He'll be asking me to do simple stuff like, "Yeah, y'all too loud, quiet down." And I'd be just still loud. He come over there with my ass.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Or he'd be like, "Come in the house," and I wouldn't come, and he'll come all the way down the street with my ass with a belt all the way back to the house. This shit has happened like a few times. That's memorable.
Yeah, old head ain't never touched me.
You lucky, bro. It's that light skin.
No, said that day with the bat, he didn't care how light skinned I was. He thought he was Hank Aaron. He tried to take me out. Cause I seen the light flash before my eyes. I thought it was over. And I thought it was sweet. I really didn't see it coming. Like my back was turned, and when I turned, that thing was already there.
That's crazy, bro.
Like I thought it was that's how sweet I thought it was. But yeah, nah, like so like probably like the most I probably take is just like I said, like my pop was cool. He wasn't cool. My pop was cool. I think my pop wasn't cool because my mom wasn't cool, and that's a whole nother topic. But like I think like he used to be trying like at a certain point he started hearing about it. Like she would be trying to like enforce something on me and he'd be laxed on it, and then like I think he was catching heat behind it.
Like, he wasn't supporting her how she supported him.
Yeah, like he was catching heat behind it, like for letting me get away with it, but now he got to argue over it, and I don't feel like he wanted to argue over it. So then, like, I started catching heat behind it. But for the most part, like, he was cool. So like, I probably am cool because like how he cool.
I think I am a perfect blend of my mom and dad. You know, take a lot of stuff from my dad. Like, try to take demeanor. I try to take like being like real hands on like that.
Right.
But I'm educational centered because of my mom.
Right.
So like you can see it like that's why me and her kind of match on that. Like with the schooling and the teachings. Like my mom was real hands on with my homework until I got to high school. She was like super hands on, and she even had like a little tutor for me. You know what I mean? When she couldn't help me no more. That wasn't common to have in the hood, by the way. So that kind of made me feel. None of my friends had tutorers, you know, and none of my friends' parents helped them with homework either. So my mom would sit up with me all night.
Yeah,
my mom would sit up with me all night, help me type up papers, make poster boards for presentations, write the note cards out for me, make me practice it.
Right.
Like it was like before I even knew what was like being professional or being prepared was, she had already. I've been doing it since 5th grade.
Right.
Giving presentations. And it's so funny because like even you always say it before the pod, I look nervous. Like I still have them butterflies to the day. Like I consider myself like a talkative social butterfly dude.
Yeah.
Like, I still have that. Damn, I gotta get up here and stand up and talk in front of these people.
That's a fact.
You
Because
know.
you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that it's interesting.
But it'd be
Worry
showtime
about
when
that.
it go. But it's crazy, man. I think I am a good blend. And y'all let us know what y'all think. You know, as a parent, are you a good blend of your parents? Or are you something like totally different? You know, do you see the correlation? You know, are you and your co-parent or wife or relationship? You know, are y'all raising y'all kids from like the things y'all had or did not have as kids, or what y'all saw with their parents? You know, let us know some of that feedback in the comments, man, on Instagram or on the YouTube channel.
We appreciate that. Make sure y'all check us out and go get our merch. The link is in our bios on our link tree. It's a lot of stuff in our link tree too.
Like what?
Like the links to all our audio and our videos.
Yeah. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
You done?
No, go ahead.
No, we done. It's all good. Dre cutting y'all short this week. Be mad at him.
Don't be mad at me. It's just a little pressed for time.
All right, we'll catch y'all next week, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. I really wanted to thank everybody that been rocking with us since the first episode. We now made it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, if you tuned in at episode 20, you gotta go back and check out from episode 1 to 19.
Yeah, like I want to thank everybody that been rocking with us every single episode, and I want to thank everybody who joined us during the way. So we appreciate all the listeners and the viewers and the people that subscribe, and make sure y'all sharing this podcast with other parents, other dads, other moms. Some of these conversations are not like just dad conversations,
Right.
Make sure y'all sharing that with just a parent in general. Some of these conversations need to be bigger than just me and Dre. So we would love to hear some of y'all feedback, and always feel free, like, if y'all want us to talk about a topic, DM us. We reply.
Yes, I reply.
Dre replies.
I reply to all the DMs.
If it get liked, it's me, because that's what I do best, is just like stuff.
But I'm going to write something back because I'm, you know what I'm saying, we're tapped in.
But yeah, man, thank y'all for rocking with us. If y'all came on this journey, man, we going to keep this thing going, and we see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Join the More Than a Dad family by following us on Instagram, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to join our Facebook group for daily questions, motivation, dad jokes, and new dad tips. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to like, comment, and share our content with other parents. Last but not least, make sure you check out our new merch. The link is in the bio of our Instagram, as well as the description of this YouTube video. We are truly grateful, and thanks for supporting More Than a Dad.
More than a dot, more than a dot.